let's get you over to this. The governor of Hawaii and other state officials updating us on their preparations there.
7 magnitude earthquake off of the coast at a depth of approximately 12 miles down. Shortly thereafter, about 14 minutes later, we became aware that there was a likelihood of a tsunami. Now let me put this into perspective. An 8.7 earthquake is a big earthquake, and it means they can generate a large wave, a tsunami wave, which we do expect to come and arrive sometime around 7:10 p.m. around Kauai. We'll get into those details more in a moment. Again, for perspective, we had a 9.0 earthquake, which is very significant. These things get much larger as the number goes up incrementally. That was in March of 2011 at that time, and you can't compare them directly like apples to apples, but that created a 7-foot wave that hit Maui, causing $7.5 million of damage. And because we were thoughtful and smart and calm, and we should all be calm as we evacuate, and we must evacuate from the inundation area, there were no casualties. We have a tsunami warning. And what does that mean? That is the most serious warning that you can have. It is not a watch, it is a warning, which means we have to evacuate the coastal zones right away. I want people to drive carefully. You need to expect that there will be flooding on all of the islands, and it will be imminent after the wave hits. We should be safe, therefore not sorry. The first impact, like I said, is about to happen at 7:10 p.m., which is about 2 hours from now. You may have already heard sirens go off 2 times. They will go off 3 more times. Actually, one just did, 5:10, which is 2 hours out. At 6:10 p.m., about an hour from now, that will be 1 hour out. Then at 6:40 p.m., which will be 30 minutes out before the expected landfall of that wave. You must stay off the beaches and away from harbors, rivers, or low-lying areas. If you stay on beaches, you could risk death. You have to be careful. We will go over tsunami evacuation zones, and you can find that at the HAIMA website, which is ready.hawaii.gov. You will see there, basically, you have to get off of the coastal areas. Please know where this tsunami evacuation zone is and have a route to get out to higher ground. Now, what do you have to do? If you're in a building, you can go up 4 stories. You will be safe in that case. You have to be very careful, though. Otherwise, you need to leave the evacuation zone, and you have to be away from this potential wave. We've done several things. We are in communication with government leaders at all levels. So again, you can expect a tsunami wave to hit the state, and it will not just hit one beach. It will wrap around the islands very likely, therefore causing a wave in Hilo, in Kona, in Kauai, and on Maui. You have to be safe.
They seem to be having some issues with their live stream. I think we can rejoin it here.
All I would say is this, once again, there is some time. You're going to hear a couple additional sirens. You're going to hear one again at 6:10 p.m. That will be about an hour out. It may take as much as 30 minutes till the waves reach other parts of the islands. So don't simply go out until we tell you it's all clear. And then at 30 minutes again, 6:40, you will hear that last alert. There probably will not be an alert after that. We'll give you more updates as we go forward. At approximately 5:30, in 12 minutes, we intend to hear from some of the buoys out in the middle of the Pacific. That's when the wave will pass Midway Island. It will give us a better idea of how large this wave is. God willing, these waves will not hurt us, but you have to assume that they will be life-threatening. Now I'm going to turn this over to our TAG, General Lumen.
Thank you, Governor Green, and aloha and good evening. Let me just cover some of the finer points, and I'll start with the Department of Transportation, who we have been in constant contact with. Currently, Hilo Airport is the only one that is closed. I've been in contact with Rear Admiral Sean Reagan, the commander of the 14th Coast Guard District, and he's informed me that the United States Coast Guard has already closed all of the major ports. All ships ordered by the captain of the port have been ordered out to sea. Kolikoli Pass has been open since they've been alerted, and they have the resources available now. And the HTA has not received any calls yet, which is the Hawaii Tourism Authority, in case there's any displaced tourists who need some lodging or residences. On Kauai, we're urging all to avoid the Honolulu to allow people to evacuate, and the Kauai County Mayor is not closing the Wailua Bridge. On Oahu, Likelike townbound traffic has been opened. Kolikoli Pass has been opened, like I said, in order to decompress the leeward coast of this island, and the Nanakuli contraflow has been shut down. Maui, the state highways is staging vehicles and equipment throughout their island and county. From Molokai, Kalaupapa Airport personnel are ready to evacuate to the lighthouse. On the island of Hawaii or the Big Island, Hilo Airport commercial operations have been suspended to facilitate the evacuations from Keaukaha. And like I said, all islands, the Coast Guard captain of the port has ordered all vessels to follow their procedures to leave port. As you hear the sirens that Governor Green has already articulated when they'll be sounding, we urge you to either tune to your news media, your broadcasters, or go to the readyhawaii.gov website for further information. That's all I have right now, subject to any questions.
Tell them what we've activated as far as air power, just in case.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay, I've been in contact with the Chief of the National Guard Bureau, who's a 4-star general. He also sits on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the rest of the National Guard is ready to respond and assist us if necessary. Currently, what we have is we have numerous helicopters that are here on the islands of Oahu, Hawaii, and Maui. So we have large cargo helicopters, and with the approval of Governor Green, I've activated 2 medevac aircraft for the island of Oahu, although they can respond to other counties. They carry with them a search and rescue capability with an infrared radar system that can see throughout the night and look for heat signatures, a hoist, and an onboard medic to provide any kind of medical support as they get transported to a point of care. We also have on the Air National Guard side large aircraft. So the KC-135 is a tanker, but it can be mobilized to move stuff between the islands or from the mainland. And we also have KC-C-17s. Those are the larger ones, and you saw those put into place on New Year's Day or shortly after New Year's Day for those burn victims that we transported to Arizona. We would need to contact Admiral Paparo at US Indo-PACOM for the authority to operate those airframes. We also have 2 aircraft, two 860s in Hilo, and 1 more on Maui stationed at our armory at Punene. I've also ordered the activation of numerous troops and soldiers on all of the counties to provide a heavy vehicle capability, which is capable of doing either debris clearance or evacuation of personnel if the water gets too high. They're what we call high water vehicles. And we've also placed National Guard soldiers and airmen into all of the county EOCs for a near real-time response and to anticipate needs from the county mayors and also from the county EOC or emergency management administrators. So that's a purview of how we're postured right now.
Mahalo. Mahalo, Tag and Governor. We'll do some media Q&A, and we'll just take 1 per media outlet who's present. Le'ui, I'd like to start with you.
Can you, once again, this is for either Governor or for yourself, General Logan, underscore the contingency plans for those areas like Hana, around Kauai, those one-road areas, those vulnerable areas that you mentioned earlier?
So we constantly exercise with the counties, and the county has a very robust plan. Specific to Maui, they are, of course, a multi-island county, but working with Mayor Bisson and his team, they have a response capability. Luckily for the National Guard, we're a community-based organization, and we're postured on all the major islands, so we can activate more soldiers and airmen as necessary to assist the county. DOT also has assets, the State Department of Transportation, to assist the county departments of transportation with either clearing those roads or conducting their own evacuations. Thank you for that question.
Let me add, just for coordination so everyone understands, we were immediately in contact with our congressional delegation who were diligent and on the spot, offering us whatever support we needed also and communication support. We also are prepared to continuously have our EOCs activated on all of the islands. The mayors are in charge. We've been in constant communication with them as well. So everyone is prepared, everyone is ready for what may come, but there is always some uncertainty about the size of the wave. In about 5 minutes, we'll reconvene a statewide meeting. We will hear an update on the size of the wave, as I said, as it passes through the middle of the Pacific. We'll also be in communication with other states and islands, such as Guam, Tsunami, finding out what they have experienced. After the wave has passed, after we're all safe, we will reach out to these other friends of ours across the Pacific to support them in their recovery also.
Mahalo, Governor. Andrew?
From what you shared so far, is any of that based on any ocean readings between Russia and between Midway and Russia?
Yes, there was immediately a response from all of the nearshore buoys. The question was answered almost immediately right after the earthquake. It was clear to us that there was going to be a wave. As we have shared, we don't know how large a wave, usually until it passes Midway, and As you can see, it takes 5 to 6 hours to come across the Pacific in this case. That's why we're always postured to first check. We don't want to alarm people unnecessarily, but once we see that there's going to be a wave, we begin our protocol. And usually the protocol results in an initial siren, which you heard, just to kind of wake people up to the severity of the situation, followed by the 3 hours out, 2 hours out, the 1 hour out, and the 30-minute out warnings. At that point, we expect everyone to be fully evacuated, either out of the inundation zones or vertically. People should not, and I will say it one more time, should not, as we have seen in the past, stay around the shoreline or risk their lives just to see what a tsunami looks like. It is not a regular wave. It will actually kill you if you get hit by a tsunami. So you have to be out of that area. Please do not put anyone in a situation where General Logan has to search and find you with a helicopter. It is not likely we will recover you if a tsunami takes you from the shore.
If you're stuck in traffic right now or in the coming hour or so, trying to evacuate, at what point, should you consider, leaving? What advice you have to people who are still trying to evacuate at this time and as it gets closer to the 7 o'clock?
I believe everyone should have adequate time to get out of the evacuation zones. There were some accidents on the highway as we were aware coming in. We'll continue to update you, especially based on the size of the wave. Obviously, everyone has to be away from the shoreline. We've been in contact with our tourism authority, Jimmy Tokioka, who's our director of DBED. He's been talking to the hotels. I've been speaking to the hospitals. They are prepared. They've actually activated additional shifts in case there are mass casualties. We are praying that that will not be necessary. If the waves come and go and then we give the all clear, we'll be back to fine. We'll be back to normal. We probably will have a lot of debris to clean up. That's where our team will execute kind of the cleanup. There could be some power failures if local poles go down. Be aware of that. There could be some loss of water pressure. That happens sometimes in these circumstances. But once we give the all clear, we will no longer worry about casualties when we'll just be cleaning up. I really think people should have plenty of time given where we are. Some of the traffic was already beginning to abate when we got here at about 4:55.
This formally concludes the presser, and we will stay tuned. We will have more updates in future press conferences. Mahalo.
All right, you've been listening there to a live update from Governor Josh Green and other state officials in Hawaii. As we've been telling you, they are preparing for the arrival of a tsunami wave. In the next 2 hours or so is when we anticipate that first wave might arrive there in the state of Hawaii, where a tsunami warning is in effect.